Whew. Hello, hello. Shouldn't have eaten all that candy peanut butter. It's okay though. I finished off that thing of one of the jars of candy peanut butter. Oh my god, fuck my stomach, man. Mental, no, don't eat that much in one sitting again. It wasn't that much. It was literally like 6 spoonfuls, so 160, 320. So 480 calories, approximately. Yeah. Uh, Mental note, don't do that again. So, how is everyone? Hello. How are you? How was everyone's day? I'm not going to be on here very long because I'm kind of tired today. It's just one of those days, I think. Um, just thought I'd come on and check in and see how everybody's doing because I was not on yesterday. So, how is everyone? How was your day? How was your weekend? I'm alright for the most part. I just ate too much candy peanut butter, and I'm tired. So my stomach's a little funkified right now. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun or when you're not having fun. You know. I've been tired all fucking day. Yeah, I have like 9 more jars. I have 9 more jars. I ended up getting 4 of the Christmas tree ones. So I just finished one of the Christmas tree ones off. So there's 4 of those. Now there's 3. Um, one of the Twix ones, an oatmeal pie one, cookies and cream, a strawberry bundt cake one, and God, what the fuck? Cinnamon Toast Crunch one, and like those zebra cakes. Yeah, that one too. So yeah, oh, I got I got 3 more of the Santa, 3 more of the Christmas tree ones. Well, I'm fucking tired. Lately, it's all the time. But I think I know why I'm so tired all the time. And why I look like I'm fucking pregnant right now is because I'm just, That's what happens when you have flare ups. And I end up looking pregnant and I'm exhausted. And yeah. Thing is, I don't know how long it's going to last. And it's been going on for a few days now. So I've been sleeping on and off all day. Now I'm sitting here yawning because I'm tired. I have a doctor's appointment on the 24th. I have thyroiditis. also known as um, Hashimoto's disease, plus diverticulitis. So that's most like it's a flare up. It happens. It just means I sleep a bit more, and you know. Look. It also could be the weather and other things too. I'm ready to blow this popsicle stand and go somewhere fucking warm and never. I ain't even playing. I'm tired of this fucking place. I hate this. I hate New York. Yeah, and even when I try to lose weight, I can't lose weight. I mean, I was going to the gym when I lived in Florida in my car. I was going to the gym 3 times a day. About killed myself doing it because, you're lifting anywhere between 50 and 100 pounds at 100 count on everything, plus 2 miles an hour, 2 miles on the treadmill. You're doing this each and every time you're going to the gym, 3 times every day. I didn't lose any weight. I didn't lose a fucking pound. I lost some inches, but not much. And it's like, I would love to lose the weight, but I don't know what the fuck to do. And so, these bad things that are going on now, fuck that shit. No. Because you do that, how everybody's getting into these fad GLP shit. You know what's going to happen when you do those? You got to do that the rest of your life. Because when you stop, what do you think happens? You're going to gain all that weight back and then some. And it's not your fault. It's just how it works. That's how it's supposed to be. It's all a fucking money scheme. No, I'm not trying to. Doctor told me not even do cleanses because of the diverticulitis. Hello. So yeah, I can't do cleanses. I can't. I'm definitely not doing that shit with the GLP. Fucking no. Yeah. I ate too much of the candy peanut butter. It's okay. I ate too much of the candy peanut butter. I finished the one of the Christmas tree when I opened. I finished that off, but I'm also in the middle of. I'm also having a flare up, which I've had for. It's been going on for a couple days now. And so I'm really tired. I'm sleeping more, and I'm exhausted constantly, and I look like I'm fucking pregnant because I'm fucking, you know. um. So the problem I have is here's where the big problem is because I have thyroiditis. I have Hashimoto's disease. Um. No matter how hard I try, I'm not going to be able to lose weight. I'm okay. It's just I'm having a flare up. It tends to happen. And I just get exhausted like this and everything else. I go to my new doctor on the 24th, and I know I need to see the endocrinologist or whatever the fuck it is. I haven't seen one yet. Well, I don't know how long I'm gonna be on here because I am tired. Oh, shit. I'm tired and I ate like 6 spoonfuls of the candy peanut butter. Or was it 8? Like 6 or 8 spoonfuls. Now, I'm not talking about the cereal spoons. I'm talking about the spoon I got with the candy peanut butter the first time I ordered it. No, thyroid. They deal with thyroiditis and osteoporosis. I'm alright, I'll be alright. I'm just tired. Thank you, though. You you have a good evening. Um, no. The peanut butter does not. No. No, I'm just really tired and that because of the flare up. I have thyroiditis. And that's what happens. Sometimes I get these flare ups where I'm really tired and I end up looking like I'm pregnant. And there's other things to it too, but yeah. I woke up this morning, I got out of bed and went to use the bathroom. I looked and I realized, well, shit, that's why I'm so tired because I'm on flare up. And I realized I was having a flare up because of how big I look. Yeah, it's been a couple days now. Started a couple days ago. I'm just so tired. And I slept from like 5:30 till maybe a half hour ago. Nothing really. I don't know. I gotta go see a doctor and they probably have to check my thyroid levels and that kind of thing. What will make me feel better? Okay, you want to know what will make me feel better? That's a very simple answer to that. I'm sure you can figure that out. All I have to do is shove up in my door, make me feel better. Call me on the phone, make me feel better. Talk to me, communicate, make me feel better. Good, I can show up right now, even if you wanted to, because he's in Australia. But that would make me feel better. But everything happens the way it's meant to. I'm just, I'm not feeling, I'm just so tired and I'm really not feeling good today. I was feeling alright, I was feeling pretty good this morning and then I just went after that. That's what usually happens. I feel really good in the mornings and then when the flare up, during the flare ups, I end up gradually, sometimes quicker than others, just ending up like this. So it's so much fun. Yeah. I'll be alright. I always am. Besides, I have to take care of myself, so I can't, you know, I do my best. I also used to take care of myself. But yeah, I'll be alright. Just gotta wait it out. Hopefully, a few days I'll feel, hopefully tomorrow I'll feel much better, you know? And if it's not cold, if it's not too cold out tomorrow, maybe I'll go out for a bit. I have a cold intolerance, though. That's why I don't really go out during the winter. Unless I have to when it's really cold, because I have a cold intolerance. And then my whole body hurts. So, how was everybody else's day? I hope everybody had a wonderful day. And to those of you who are watching from the UK, happy Mother's Day to the mothers. I didn't know Mother's Day was different in the UK than it was here until, some people I know talked about it, and they're from the UK. So, um, yeah, happy Mother's Day to the mothers in the UK. I am so fucking tired. Yeah, honestly, Honeypot, he could do the littlest thing, it would make me feel better. Hell, when he watches my stories, it makes me feel special. I don't know why. It always bring. I don't know. I'm weird. Damn it. I'm weird like that. Yeah, but it's the littlest things. I can't wait to can't wait to fucking move. So, probably not singing tonight because, I do have to go in my room and close the door because her bedroom is right there. Not really in much. Don't really feel like singing tonight. So, how is everyone else? We know how I'm doing, it's very obvious. I'm at the point where I ain't even wearing a fucking mask anymore. Shit. This is me. I'm not gonna pretend I'm okay anymore. I'm gonna show how I really feel. Because of, you know. It's alright. Don't be sorry. It happens. It's just Truth be told, I've worn a mask for a very long time, and I've hid when I'm not feeling good. This isn't the first time. I just usually hide it very well, but I'm tired of hiding it. I shouldn't have to. But for so long, I've had to say, pretending I was okay and everything physically because of the shit that had been going on. And now it's just like, I don't give a fucking where I can't fucking keep hiding. Yeah, especially with this is what happens with thyroiditis. This is what causes the flare ups. It's stress and other things. Not to mention, I'm wondering now if you're pre-diabetic and you eat something like a lot of candy peanut butter, that might cause you not to feel well either, right? Yeah, because I'm also pre-diabetic. So the thyroiditis, the diverticulitis, and the pre-diabetes. Not to mention, not to mention the arthritis throughout my body, the osteoporosis. I'm just falling apart, man. I'm just fucking falling apart. I'm in my mid to late 40s, and I'm fucking falling apart. I need to go somewhere where I'll be happy, somewhere where I really want to be. And I think once I do that, my life, my physical health, and that'll get better. Because it's not just all that. It's when you pick up on everybody's fucking energies, and I do, and it sucks. I could be happy go lucky and then all of a sudden get really angry for no fucking reason. It's because and it doesn't even have to be people in the same room. It could be my neighbors. I seem to be able to pick up people's energies when I'm in my house alone. It sucks. I don't understand it, but hey. So, and New York is one of the most negative places to be. This is where the most negative people are. And empaths, this is not the place for an empath. I'll tell you that right now. I need to go where there's a beach and the ocean. Walk on the beach collecting seashells and just breathe in the fresh, clean air, the ocean air. Walk barefoot on the beach. On the ocean. You know, I need to go somewhere where it's peaceful. Hearing it. Let me tell you a few things about here if you've never been to New York. Yeah, the ocean. Florida's beautiful and clear, and you can see to the bottom, all right? Here you cannot. If you ever come to New York and you think, hey, let me swim in the water here, don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Because you don't know what all you'll be swimming with, human or other. This is not a joke. Like, far from it. The water here is so dirty. The ocean water is so fucking dirty. Don't do it. The water that you go on the what the fuck do you call it? The ferry. See? Yeah. When you go, yeah, look, if you ever come to New York and you go on the ferry, look at the water. Also, if you're ever going through the city or anywhere in New York and you see jars of any liquids, do not touch them. Also, don't get freaked out when you're walking a path like in the city and a rat runs across in front of you. Don't freak out; it's normal. All that shit's very normal. And also, depending on where you go, a lot of times you will have there will be this horrific smell, horrific stench of urine. Okay, there's so many homeless people here. It's not even funny because they would rather be out on the street than in one of the shelters or centers here because they're so shit. I know that from experience. The one I was at, evidently, was the best one in the five boroughs. I have no idea how, but I didn't go to the other one, so I don't know. Uh, yeah. If you come to visit, is one thing, but you don't want to live here. You definitely don't. Like, if you come to Staten Island, I don't know why you would, except to go on the ferry. That's about it. and maybe the outlet mall down there, but other than that, you don't want to come to Staten Island. Unless you have a legit reason for coming over to Staten Island. I mean, you could come here, but I don't know why you would want to. I question myself on why I'm here, why I moved here, but then again, it was supposed to be. I had to, I was supposed to move here to get everything, to get my life on track, to get me in a place and everything, and now I've been here for so long, and that's a fucking workout. Shit, hold on. And then I get hot and cold. Oh, shit. That was a workout. So, like, yeah, Staten Island is different than the city. Either way, no matter where you go, and people are rude as fuck. People are rude. They're always in like wanting to fight you and shit. They think they're all. A lot of people here think they're all big and bad. I laugh because they're not. When people are running their yappers like they do, they're all talk. Trust and believe. I don't back down. There's this one time I was riding the bus and I was on the phone with my insurance company about the doctor, and this woman started just running her mouth. These two women did, and the one had a son that was autistic. She was running her mouth, and I can't remember what I said. But she's like something about don't threaten me in front of my son, autistic son. I said learn the meaning of what a threat is. And she's like, bitch, I'm from Jersey. I said, and I'm from everywhere. And she shut the fuck up. Like, that shit don't fly with me. But yeah, that happens a lot here, actually. A lot of people here don't have common sense, save their fucking lives. I'm telling you. Some people have never been off the island. When I was in the Dragon Center, there were people there that have never been off the island, and the ferry is like a 5-minute walk. They go clear across the other side of the island, which takes like 2 hours to get there. But to get on the ferry and go to the city, which they'd never been off the fucking goddamn island, 5-minute walk, they wouldn't do it. And it's those people who were like that, they end up being stuck in the same situation for. They never get out of that situation. So I don't even go down to the center anymore. I don't call any of them anymore. I got to the point where, you know, I've helped so many people for so long that I finally came to a realization that I was being used. Because when you're doing things out of the kindness of your heart to help these people that don't seem to want to help themselves, and you take, like the last time I took stuff down there, it was for Christmas, like, I think it was Christmas or something like that. It was after Christmas. And, people have heard me talk about Miss K before. And I took some stuff to Miss K and took some clothes down there and some food down there and everything for the resident, for the clients down there. And I gave Miss K what I brought her, and when you do things that are nice for somebody and then they complain that you didn't give them something that they wanted, like one of your perfumes, because she was always asking me to give. She always wanted my perfumes. Like, my perfumes aren't cheap, and so I gave her. I did give her some, but then she called and left me a message saying that they had been stolen out of her bag, asking me for more. Excuse me? Yeah, no. So, yeah, no. I'm done being, I finally got fed up with being used and stolen from. Like, with Maddie, I don't have anything to do with him. And even the phone that I gave him that was in my name, I had it shut off completely. Because you're going to steal from me, well, now we're doing this. When people take your kindness for weakness and think that they can continue to walk all over you, there comes a point in time where you gotta put your foot down and say enough is a fucking enough. Because you're not doing you any good. You just keep getting used. It doesn't mean I don't help anybody still, because I do. I help those that I know I need. Like if I have this feeling, or if I'm drawn to help someone, then I do. But I don't go and help everybody anymore. Especially when I know they're not going to help themselves. Many of those residents down there, when I got in that place, had been there for 5+ years. I was in that place and then ended up in here. I was only in there for 4 months. And the people that were in there for 5+ years are still in the same situation they were when I met them. And come to find out, some of the people that ended up getting out of that situation ended up back in that situation after being evicted. I don't understand it. But hey, you know, things that went on in that place and had to deal with. It was like the Twilight Zone mixed with Alice in Wonderland through the looking glass. It's insane. But you know, I've learned a lot. And I've come a long way from there. Hell, I've come a long way since escaping that house. You know? I'm sitting here thinking about everything that I've gone through and just since escaping that house and how much my life has changed. For the better. You know? Damn it, I don't know why I'm fucking crying. Shit. For no reason, you know? Just not used to it, I guess. And I hate crying. Of course, I went for years without crying. Wasn't allowed to. God, I can't believe how far I've come. And everything I've been through, and with all the stress and bullshit that's been going on in here for the past 3 years, plus my address being doxxed and everything else, you know, being recorded, fucking all that shit. You know, I've noticed, I think some of those people actually disappeared like Fart and Windstorm. The ones that were doing what they were doing. It's like they all disappeared like a fart in a windstorm, so to speak. Oh, shit. I'm proud of myself. I'm very proud of myself. And I'm ready for whatever the future holds. I'm ready for whatever's to come. Everything I've already been through, like, I've already been through the fucking worst of the worst, I think, in my life. I can handle anything. And I know that. Yeah, they say you need a tough skin to be in the industry. I think I have that. You know. See, the truth is, I started getting into the entertainment industry when I was homeless in my car. That's the first time I had the first photo shoot I ever did was when I was in Florida, living homeless in my car. Had a lot of amazing. I did a lot of amazing things when I was in Florida. But Think about everything I've been through in my life that I do know of. The stuff I do remember. I've already been through the worst of the worst. Maybe now it's time for maybe I'm about to have a happily ever after now. You know? You know the fairy tales, Cinderella, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, all of them, right? I've had every fairy tale story beginning. And I'm not talking about Disney version, I'm talking about Brothers Grimm version. So now I'm ready for the happily ever after. And I deserve it. See, I wanted to. If I was going to be famous, I wanted to do it from my talent, because of my talents. But sometimes you don't get what you want. Sometimes you end up famous for fucked up reasons. You know, such as being kidnapped and shit. And I never asked for any of it. But as I always say, in order to truly help people, you have to truly understand. Because in order to help them, you got to really be able to understand what they've gone through. And the only way to understand is you have to experience it yourself. Because my dumbass has said that many times. I'm far from stupid. But I say my dumbass because what the fuck? So, after all is said and done, I know that I'm going to be able to help anybody with anything when it comes to being able to understand what they've gone through, like other survivors and that kind of thing. I mean, fuck. I said last year, watch me be the one to solve my own kidnapping. I said that. I also said that I predicted that the monsters would be exposed for what they've done. That happened. And here we are. I'm ready for the monsters to go away for a long time. All of them. Each and every one. So I have noticed some things. I guess there's a lot of guys coming on and doing their lives claiming to be part of the Masons. Here's what I'm going to say about that. Last time I checked, um, the real Masons, they're not going to come on here and do that. Of course they might, because nowadays they're getting dumber and dumber. The whole secret society thing is not so secret anymore, clearly. But evidently because I went on one of their lives last night, and I commented some things, and then I just left. I said, Masons, Eastern Star Knights, and Templar Scottish Rites are the Illuminati, and they kidnapped me. I have proof. so on and so forth. And dude was laughing because, I don't use my legal name anymore. And so uh, I said something about I'm going to be taking you down. It's just a matter. I'm taking all of them down. It's just a matter of time. They think it's funny. See, what happens is they don't know my legal name because when they find out what my legal name is, then I get unaliving threats. I've had a threat against my life by a member of the Illuminati a few months back after he found out what my real name was, what my real legal name is. Because he was trying to recruit me, and he's from South Africa. And I just said, there's, all about me, my history, why there's reason to be terrified of me. He's like, no, Grace, I don't know anything about you. I said, what do you know about Heather McCord? What's in your book about her? What's in your book about me? And that's when his demeanor changed. Said, I gotta go by. He blocked me, then unblocked me. He told me he took screenshots of everything. I was going to. And he was in Chicago, and then he reblocked me. Yeah. And then one of the Rothschilds, like in the comment I left on that tarot reader's psychic reader person, one of her videos when she was talking about the files. And I said I was one of the survivors in that. They kidnapped me and trafficked me, and they tried to sacrifice me. Now they're terrified of me, and apparently I'm in their book because I failed. And they're terrified of me, and apparently I'm in their book. And one of the Rothschilds liked that comment. Yeah. So anybody that thinks I'm crazy, I'm not far from it. Because I do take screenshots and I record conversations and everything. I think by now I've proven that I'm not crazy. That's very fucking real, and I still can't wrap my head around it. So yeah, the shit that has happened, plus everything else, not just the past 3 years or whatnot, but for years. Everything, it's just, I've been in, I guess, survival mode for so long. Probably, I'm guessing 2017 is when it stopped because that's when she was fine with me not taking any of the medications anymore. Um, by all accounts, I was probably kept locked up basically. I didn't end up in that family as Heather till probably 1986. End of 85, beginning of 86. and I figure it was proud, and I think I know how I escaped. Um, because that's why I ended up in that family because I escaped. Because I went to the dentist a couple weeks ago. Asked him about this little tooth up here, right here, that's smaller than shorter than the rest. And he told me that would have been it. It was the reason it's deformed. He said is because I would have had a very high fever, and on antibiotics when it was coming in, and I would have been about 6 years old. First memory I have being with those people, and I was running. Other than the day I was taken with Sue and Jack, I was running, and I was terrified, and I ran down the block. Why am I crying? I ran down the block and then ran up the street all the way, and I ran across the highway, or not highway, but very busy road. I got up to the elementary school. And before I could get to the doors, Linda, Sue's sister, caught up with me in the car. She got me back. Got me in the car. And she beat me on the way back to the house. And she got me in the house, and I continued. And then the next thing I remember is I was standing in the back of the shower, and their brother, who I grew up knowing as my uncle, was at the front of the shower, messing with the faucets for the temperature. After that, I couldn't stop urinating. They put me in diapers till they got me to a doctor to have a shot in my hip. That was the first time I ran away. Then that time she left the car running and went to the house, and I drove the car into the garage door. And then there was the time she was driving down the road, and I tried jumping out of the car while it was in motion. I don't know how many times I was taken to that apartment though, with the tunnel. The apartment with the tunnel. It's kind of like it would be like where I am now, but with a downstairs apartment and upstairs apartment, and the tunnel is in the upstairs apartment where I was taken. I don't remember what color the outside of the house was or whatnot, but I remember there was about 3 or 4 steps going up to the porch, and then you go in the house or in the house apartment. On this side, there was a apartment where a woman lived, and someone will always live on the first floor apartment. It'll most likely be a woman. And it's to keep up appearances, and so she could cover saying, "Yeah, somebody lives upstairs, but they're not home right now." But so you go in, and then there's an apartment here. That's where she lived. And then over here, there's a staircase going upstairs, and the banister was like a very dark brown or black. It had one of those big brown ends on the bottom of it. I don't remember what the inside of the apartment looked like, but I remember what the room looked like. Go upstairs, and you know, if you stand in the room, if you're like in the doorway, over in this area, there's a bunch of toys for kids. There's no dresser. There's no kids' toys. Or, there's toys, but no kids' clothes. Over on this wall, right in the center, would be a canopy bed. And if you look straight across, there would be 3 or 4 steps going up, and there's a landing. You can go, if you were to sit on the end of the canopy bed and look straight and look like that, I just, looking right out the door. Because it was like the door was right smack dab in the center and lined up perfectly. I remember I was told never to open that door. I don't listen very much, do I? Because I opened the door. There were religious paintings on both walls with bright colors that you would find in like a Sunday school classroom for kids. That's the apartment where I ended up with the 3 scars on my upper and right thigh. That they told me that I unscrewed the canopy bed and was jumping on the bed when I unscrewed 3 times. There are scars from cigarette burns. Sorry. I don't know why I'm fucking crying. Shit. What I've been told is the things I don't remember are far worse than the things I do remember. And I remember a lot of fucked up shit, obviously. Including seeing other children being cannibalized. Worst memory I had from that was in 2023 when I was sitting in my car. Getting ready to make a video or make a call or something. I just closed my eyes for a second and it was like I was taken to some cellar dungeon basement thing. And I remember there's a pillar and then a pillar with a torch on it that's lit, then a fireplace, then a pillar, another fireplace. There was like 3 fireplaces. The torches were lit, and the walls were like really big, smooth pebbles. There were children screaming. That's how a lot of children lost their lives. They were alive. Some were alive when they were yeah. I've talked about this shit for the past 2 years or so. The memories I've had that I started remembering, I've talked about it over this whole time. And they told that my memories that I've talked about are actually in those fucked up files. Never did I ever think that I would have, I still haven't wrapped my head around this shit. It doesn't feel real. I've had some of the most fucked up shit said about me since talking about my memories of that in the beginning of it. Can't get help from FBI and law enforcement, anybody, because they protect them. That's why I record conversations. Because I know that they like to make me look crazy. That's why I've taken a psych evaluation online. Nothing mentally wrong with me except PTSD and anxiety, which is to be expected. Um, that's why I've recorded the conversations I have. That's why all the investigation that's been done has been done by me. In the process of me getting roadblocks, one right after the other after the other. Well, I have to go over to the UK to do a DNA test to find out if I'm Catrice or not. But I did one for Texas. That's how I found out I'm not Tanya. Excuse me, Tanya Michelle Williams. So I don't know why they can't just send the DNA or whatever, but no. I guess that happens when the person that kidnapped you, the family you grew up in. Oh, they could. They could, but they won't. See, FBI says that they don't do that. They don't help with this kind of thing. That I need to have local police help me. Local police and that tell me I got to deal with FBI. I'm not getting any help anywhere. Not from FBI, police, Interpol, Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the embassy. You name it, I've called it. I've reached out. I've even reached out to Operation Butte. The missing and exploited. There's agencies over in the UK that know all about me because I've called. I have called. I've done a lot of work all this time trying to. Yeah. I am. That's why I'm going. I have to go over there to do it because I cannot get help from anybody here. They had no problem when I was trying to find out if I was taking Michelle Williams. They had no problem helping me then. But all of a sudden, when it comes to Catrice Lee, I get roadblock after roadblock after fucking roadblock, and I know why. Other than the fact that, let's. There's reasons that I have that there are very good reasons that I have to believe that there's a possibility for me to be Catrice. I have a birthmark in the same spot. The suspect looks just like Sue. Sue looks just like the suspect, which she was most likely born either male and raised as female, or she was born intersex and never able to even conceive a child, which means there were other children taken, not just me, before me and after me. See, at first I thought the suspect, I thought it was Carol because Carol and Bob were over there at that time, living over there. I didn't think about the fact that that family could have gone over there to visit Carol and Bob for Thanksgiving, which was 2 days before the kidnapping. Um, Sue was 5'8" to 5'10". Men's size 10 shoe, ring size was size 11. Never had a monthly cycle, had an Adam's apple, that kind of thing. Also faked her death. 1972 and 73, she was on some sort of public assistance when she was 12 going on 13 in 1972. Now, I thought, well, because she was the only one of the kids that was. And for a while, I thought maybe she had been pregnant at that time because of the picture of the baby that Joan and Jack were holding is, I say that loosely, because that baby was very much not living in that picture. But then I started thinking her size. See, Joan was 4'11". Jack was 5'11", 5'10". Sue's sister Carol is 5'2". Her sister Linda is 5'3", and her brother is 5'5". But she's a woman that is 5'8" to 5'10". That didn't make any sense. And the fact that she has an Adam, I mean, I can show you the picture. Yeah. Let me pull up a picture on my phone. I'll show you. So I am going over there. I got my ticket to go over there, and once I get there, I will ask to speak to the proper authorities. Let me see if I can find the damn picture. I can just go get the damn picture out of my room, too. Which I might. Maybe not. Hold on. Because I'm trying to pull up the one of her where she's holding the baby. And you will be able to see that there's the size of her hand. I'm sorry. Is that better? I cannot help it. I'm just gonna go get the pictures. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. It's easier if I just do it with the pictures. Instead of searching on my phone. I did put this in, like, her size and what would cause a woman to have this, not have a monthly, not grow hair to where she on her face or whatever to where she wouldn't have to shave intersex and unable to conceive. So this is Sue. That baby is supposedly a month and a half old. On the birth certificate, it says 19 inches long at birth. Look at the size of her hand. Also, right there, you see the top of it. That's an Adam's apple right there. Somebody thinks, somebody actually said that that baby was most likely no longer here. So here we have one baby, right? Here's another baby. This baby has birth defects. Notice how she has short hair, short nails, right? Now, if you just saw this person, me not saying whether it's male or female, what would you think? Would you think this is a man? And maybe transgender? Crossdresser or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So, okay, so you mean like mentally? Yes, you could say that. So you have one baby, two babies, right? They say this is me. And the reason it's like the picture's like that is because been pissed off. Notice though, before I show you the picture of me at the youngest age that I have, this child has a normal thumb. A normal right thumb. Right? I have a club thumb on my right hand. So that child, it says age 2. Now these numbers up top are for most likely a temporary ID for a Masonic event that this child was taken to. Because mine has a different number on the back. Now this child, age 2, right? According to ChatGPT, I was 3 or 4 years old in this picture. Now, say I was 4. Let's say I was 4. How'd I go from red hair, blue eyes, very little hair, and blue eyes to brown hair and brown eyes? Red hair, blue eyes to brown hair, brown eyes. Because this ain't me. No. This isn't Catrice. Are you saying this is Catrice? Which one are you saying is Catrice? You saying this one? Chrissy Green Eyes. Are you saying this is Catrice? This isn't Catrice. This is definitely not Catrice. Yeah, this is me. This is the youngest picture I have of me. You say the girl in the red dress is Catrice, right? That. God damn it. Fucking. Jesus Christ. When you wear slippery pants. Okay, this is Catrice. This is the child in the red dress, which might be a boy. Because how many girls, look at the legs. Yeah, this is definitely not me, because look at my thumb. My thumb is a club thumb. This is Catrice. This is the youngest picture I have of me, so I don't know. This is the youngest picture of me. So I don't know. But I have a birthmark in the same spot she does. Let me flip the camera. And the suspect, well, let me show you the suspect. Flip it here. I'll show you. I gotta turn the light up for this. We got Sue. We got the suspect that took Catrice. She didn't start growing her hair or her nails out till after I was in that family. And then this is me in 1986. What happened to him? Well, he faked his death. This is her sister. I thought it was her because it looks so much like her, except she's 5'2", and she wasn't that big back then. This is age progression of Catrice. And there's me. So, if we go images, so, yeah. Some of you might be wondering why FBI and that won't help me. I'll show you why. Because Sue is the granddaughter of Alta and Howard Arian. Alta and Howard Arian were part of the Masons, Eastern Star, that kind of thing. They called Alta Graham and Mother Hayden. In other words, Alta, back then, was the leader of the goddamn Illuminati. These are members. That's Stella Hayden, the famous whistling lady in the Quad Cities. The Hasid Cauldron, daughters of Mokana, Alta Arian. Eastern Star, to the glory of God and in loving memory of Alta Arian. Two all free and accepted Masons on the face of this earth. Howard W. M. Arian. Alta Graham, Mother Hayden. That's why they won't help me. That's why they won't help me. That's why I can't get help from FBI or anybody in this goddamn country. That's why I've had to do it all on my own. This is Howard and Alta Arian. This is Joan and Jack. See, I remember the day I was taken. I remember the bits and pieces of the day I was taken. I remember what the person. Yeah, this is Sue's parents, and this is Alta and Howard's daughter, Joan. This letter was written by Reverend Kenneth Hayden, which was Joan's cousin. And it says copy across it, so you had to type up two letters exactly the same. You would think that would be suspicious, wouldn't you? Yeah. I remember the day I was taking the person. I was. Shit. Everything's falling out. There was a white building on the left side of me. And the person was in front of me, and I was going towards the front of this building. And they had an orange safety sucker, and the person was wearing like a soft gray tweed suit or coat or something with a hat that dipped in the center, and there was a red feather on the right side of the hat. And they had the orange safety sucker, and I ran up to them, and I remember they gave me the sucker. I took the sucker, and as they were picking me up, I put it in my mouth, and the last thing I remember was the person had dark hair, like dark brown or black hair, very dark hair, and it was short. And the next thing I remember is I was in the backseat of a car, and it was very bright. It was very. I don't usually like. I've told this a lot. And I don't usually cry like this when I talk about it. I don't know what's going on. But when I remember waking up in the backseat of a car, it was very bright, and I was very hot, and I was sweaty. And Sue and Jack were in the front seat, and they were bench seats, and it was a tannish, goldish, beigeish color. The car seats were, and there were ashtrays on both sides of the back seat. And Sue was in the passenger side, and Jack was in the driver's side. And she said, "What if she remembers?" He said, "Don't worry, she won't remember. She's so young. Just make sure you take better care of this one than you did the others." And she said it wasn't her fault the baby fell. She turned around, the baby fell, and he said he didn't believe her because the first time they started arguing and he hit her, and then that's the last thing I remembered. Yeah, I started thinking about that memory I have at the house. I thought it was Alta and Howard's house. I'm not sure it was. This memory, I remember a white house, and I don't. Some of the memories I have could have been before I was taken, but I'm not sure. There's one memory I have where there's a house. The house is painted white. A big backyard. Lilac bushes. Because I remember the smell of lilacs. Every time I smell lilacs, I get very happy, and it's a peaceful feeling. I can't explain it. But I only have this one memory at this house. I thought it was Alta and Howard's, but after looking up the address on Google Maps, there's no way, because where that brown house would have been, where it shows that their house was, the next door to it was a brown house. But what I remember, there was a carport, like a two car, not a garage, but a carport. I also remember how I have a vague memory of a Christmas tree, and the reason I remember the memory about the Christmas tree is because when I got this candle last year, not last year, but in 2024, Christmas time, candle said "Real Christmas" on it, or Christmas morning was the smell, and so when I got it home, I lit it. It smelled like a real tree, and I had a very brief, vague memory of a real Christmas tree, and then there was a window on this side of the Christmas tree, and then there was like a TV sitting on the floor on the right side of the Christmas tree, and burnt orange carpet. Now, if you've ever seen Mrs. Brown's Boys, it's carpet like they have in that show. It's an orange color. And then the memory about being in that car with a man and a woman and then another child. Like on a road trip, we stopped at a roadside motel. And I was facing the back end of the car, like in a car seat, but in the back, like flipped around where you look out where you can see out the back window. The child that was older than me. They were wearing shorts and a striped shirt and a pair of tennis shoes. The man, I believe, was, if I remember, he was wearing bell bottoms, like blue bell bottoms, and like a wife beater tank top. And the woman was wearing bell bottoms and a floral tank top that matched it. I think it was brown. And it was like a brick roadside motel. And there was a flashing vacancy sign in the window of the office. The car kind of reminded me of like National Lampoon's Vacation car, but I don't know. And then the memories I have, my memories that I've had are just a bit confusing, honestly, now. Because I've always remembered that day that I was taken, and I always remembered the roadside motel in the car and with the couple and the other child. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know who the people were that I was with. And it was a man and a woman and another child that was older than me. Faces kind of, when the faces are blurred out, it's hard to tell. I don't know if they were before the day I was taken or not. I just like the house with the lilac bushes and that. Um, and then the Christmas tree with the car. I don't know if that's before I was taken, but I'm it might be because it said open. Yeah, I think so. All I remember is the flashing vacancy sign. Because there's a vacancy sign in the window, and that's how I know it's a vacancy sign because it was flashing, and evidently, I'm guessing it was English. I don't know, but I know it was a roadside motel, and the child was older than me. And then the memory with the Christmas tree. However, this one perfume I have smells very familiar, and it's kind of comforting. And I don't know who would have worn something like I had. I just have the brief memory of that. I don't. I mean, the child was with us, yes. I remember the woman, though. I remember being in the room with the woman, and she was very kind, and I don't remember anything she said. But I remember the TV was on. We were sitting. I was on the bed. We were sitting on the bed. She was smiling at me. She seemed very caring and very loving. I don't know. It's frustrating sometimes. Shit. I also remember, I do have a memory. He's good, I think. He seems happy. He's in his favorite place, which is Australia, so um I miss it. I know why you're changing the subject, because you like to see when I smile that I'm happy. Yeah, I know. He has that effect on me. The only one that does. Shit. But I have another memory, and I think it was before I was taken because I mentioned something to Linda about it when I mentioned about asked her about the person in the gray suit and that, and she went pale, and that was 2 days. She said that didn't happen. I imagined it. Then about a day or two later, she started rugging me and poisoning me again. So, um, because I started getting sick again. So this memory is that I've always had. It's like in a strawberry patch or strawberry field or something, but there's trees there too that were tall. And I was with a man. I remember I was with a man. I think I might have been wearing overalls or something, but I was. I remember we sat down on a bench next to each other, and we were eating strawberries. And I'm guessing that was before I was taken. So I'm guessing whoever the man was when I was at the strawberry patch field, whatever it was probably my father. But I don't know. That might also tie into the motel and everything too. Maybe my family, whoever my real family is, maybe we were on a road trip or something on vacation and went to a strawberry patch or a strawberry field or whatever it's called. I don't know. hopefully me going over there and doing this DNA test will get some answers, and maybe then somebody can answer my, you know. I don't know. But I know that I must have been a daddy's girl because I asked Sue a lot about my father. I was always asking her about where's my father, where's my daddy, where's my real father, that kind of thing. I was about my father as far back as I can remember. I would ask her about my father. She told me that Smitty was my father, and that he claimed I wasn't his, and she told him he was pregnant. She was pregnant with me, and he said it's not mine. They were supposedly engaged, and he almost broke her finger getting the ring off. And she ended up tearing up the only picture she had of him. Right, one pic. You were engaged, and you only had one picture. But yeah, and then I remember her taking me to this hotel. She said we were going to go see my father. And I remember we went up these winding steps in this motel, and the door to the room was open, and I could see the foot of the bed. And I don't remember anything except standing in the doorway. That's all I remember was standing in the doorway looking, and there was the foot of the bed in the room, and I don't remember anything after that. There were probably about 500 people. And the only reason I know that is because when I started writing down my memories, which I stopped doing because it's a bit traumatizing, this little girl inside me wrote. It was like I was writing it, but it was somebody had my hand. It was like somebody was holding my hand down and writing it. I started writing down stuff after that, but I stopped writing down my memories because obvious reasons. Um, I think I put them in the middle because I didn't want to deal with. You can see this is my handwriting, and then there's this. That I wrote that, but it wasn't my. You could tell the difference. It says Jack raped me on Christmas Eve, 1985. Joan, Linda, Sue, Carol, Bob, and 500 more. So, I think the reason Tanya's name felt so familiar too, because it did, still does, but it's not because I'm Tanya. I think it's because she and I were kept together at some point. And I wish I had that picture because there's a picture of Sue sitting on a bed upstairs at Alta and Howard Arian's house. And there's a child on that bed. And that child had very curly hair. It wasn't me, nor was it the child in the red dress. And then when I was going through the thing, trying to find out if I was Tanya or not, the memories that I started having, it was like when I thought I was, even law enforcement thought I was Tanya. When I was going through the whole ordeal because, I looked so much like her sister, but clearly not. Um, the memories I've had with that was half the time things would be happening to me, and then half the time I was watching it happen to, because I thought it was Tanya, but it was happening to her. I remember being kept in a cage. I remember looking out this window and at night, and I could see stars. No streetlights, just really bright. It was like the moon and stars. And I remember it was quiet. I always wondered why I had no problem watching Nightmare on Elm Street in 1986 with no problem just sitting there watching it. So, for anyone that's not here from the UK that's watching, because I know there are, because I can see, tell me how many percentage watches from the country, what country or whatever. I hope that answers your question as to why I haven't been able to get why uh, nothing has been done. It's because I can't get any help. And the agencies in the UK would love to help me, but can't because I'm here. So I bought my own ticket, and I'm coming over there to do a DNA test, hopefully. And I'm bringing my evidence with me. And once I get there, I'm going to request to speak to the proper authorities that I need to speak to. And actually, to be quite honest, I had been going back and forth in my head whether to go or not. Still. Well, I was going to reschedule my ticket, but I think I'm going to leave it the way it is and maybe push it out even further because I don't know if they're going to keep me there until the results come back or what's going to happen. And there is a very important thing that I am going to be attending when it's time to attend it. But it's something that I will not miss for anything. But I will be going over there in a couple months, in a few months. And I originally set it out for that time anyway because, I'm on a fixed income and I have to have the money while I'm over there because, food stamps here don't work over there. So I have the money for the room and everything else. So I got my ticket out of the way and now I just, once I figure out when exactly I'm going, set up the room for a week, whatnot. Yes, that is the very important thing. That's a very important thing. I wouldn't miss that for anything. I wouldn't miss a, I wouldn't miss a show for anything in this world. I mean, come on, even when I was homeless in my car, I always made sure to go to the shows. That's why I have the GoFundMe, but not working out too well. And I do appreciate the ones that did donate to it, and it did help with the ticket a little bit. Um, it raised about $200 because they take money off of it too. So out of it, about $200, and that went towards my ticket, which cost about $600. So thankfully, that helped a bit, and I do appreciate the help that I got. Um, Now it's just figuring out where I'm going to stay and everything else, and I'm thinking, um, it's on my yeah. I've actually had a message from someone in the UK telling me I need to take it down and that because I'm causing harm to the family. That is not my intention. And the only way you're going to see it is if you go on my page. Yeah. See, I get, truth is, I get $998 a month. And then I get the max amount in food stamps because I pay my bills. Gas, electric, internet, because I gotta have internet because I'm in school. I get by. I'm very I have my nails done and that right, but I'm very frugal and I know how to shop and everything. I know where to get my shit. Okay, like when I go to Wigs and Wishes, I get my dress from Walmart or something like that. I get it very cheaply. I get it very cheap and I look amazing. The dress that I wore last, in 2024 is in my profile picture. Um, so the first modeling shoot I did, I was in my car. I was living in my car. I just know how to put clothes together. I worked retail, and I could spend very little and look like $1,000,000. Um, yeah. Even my makeup, I got it from IL Macaj, right? That's an expensive brand. But see, here's the thing. I didn't actually buy any of my makeup. Well, I did, but I didn't. Um, I I would do makeup testing, and anytime I did makeup testing, I'd get a gift card for their makeup. So that's how I got my makeup, and then I would also get a full size makeup thing. So all my makeup that I've gotten was from doing the makeup testing. Yeah, fuck, I ain't gonna spend money like that. I'm a frugal bitch. Nails, I spend no more. Like if it's a real handmade set, I think the most I've ever spent on one set of nails was like $12. I don't spend much. My clothes, I go to like I get them off Temu, or I'll go to the down to the outlet center or the outlet mall, and I'll go to oh god, what the fuck, Charlotte's, and that's where I get my Playboy bunny outfits, jumpsuits, and that is down there. So yeah, I'm a frugal bitch. Order things through Walmart. Um, I try and always find a deal. You know, I think the most I ever spend money on is the Lord's lettuce. that's that's when I spend what I spend the most money on would be the Lord's lettuce. Um, but that's for a whole month. You know, and I'm trying to quit as it is. But it's the way I do it because it helps with pain and well, not really anymore. That's why I need to go someplace because I don't like the way it makes you know it helps numb me though, and I'd rather do that than do what I used to do. I've been clean for a long time, and I will never do that again. But through all this, I honestly, it's like if you've ever watched Days of Our Lives, it's kind of like I feel it's almost like I feel like I'm the main character in a movie, and I don't know what's being filmed, like the Truman Show, kind of, only fucked up version. Because never in my wildest imagination did I think any of this would have been real. I used to watch the movies and read the books and that about like the I know my first name is Steven and all them, right? About the kids that would be kidnapped and all that. And I always felt so bad for them. And I was watching the movies before I was a teenager. And I started studying criminal justice, like serial unalivers and that before I was a teenager, trying to get in their heads, find out why they ticked the way they do. It's because I wanted to be a profiler for the FBI. But I played stupid for a very long time. Um, I never imagined me being one of those kids that been kidnapped. However, something should have given me the first clue. Uh, when you're laying in bed and you're like 10 years old and you're like, how am I related to these people? No joke. It was either a Friday or Saturday night. I think it was a Friday night, and I had a small TV in my room. It was one of those that you had to turn the knob on. And I had it on, and I think it was Friday night, and I was watching USA Up All Night with Ron DeShare, and it was either Friday or Saturday night. I remember that because it was USA Up All Night, and it was fried green tomatoes, or not fried green tomatoes. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes was on, and I had my Hershey Kisses. For some reason, I had Hershey Kisses all the time too. It's like a comfort thing. And so I would lay in bed with watching you know, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, and I was eating Hershey Kisses, and I'm laying there, and the things that are going through my head is, how am I related to these people? I don't look like them. I don't. The way they treat me. I'm nothing like them. How am I related to them? And then I would think, being called Heather felt weird. And does everybody else feel weird when they're called by their name? If Heather is my name, why does it feel so weird when people call me Heather? And then I wondered if anybody else felt that way when people said their name. And I never asked anybody because I thought they would think I was crazy or stupid or something. And I had enough problems being bullied at school and then dealing what I was dealing with at the house too. And then I would start thinking, well, maybe I was kidnapped. And maybe my family's out there looking for me. You know, Brad and I were with Sue till 1989, and then we went to Texas to live with London and Ralph. And at first, everything was good at first, before the adoption. Went to White Sands and Carlsbad Caverns and, climbed up side mountain and all that. Went to things, had fun. I was at Girl Scouts, brownies, whatever, in Indiana. And then the adoption happened in 1990. And that's when everything changed, was after the adoption. Ironically, we were living in Indiana and had to go all the way to Iowa to get adopted. And the judge who did the adoption was the same judge that performed London Ralph's wedding ceremony. It was shortly after the adoption had gone through that Ralph's son, Brian, ended up moving in with us. And I don't know how long after he moved in with us that what he did started. Probably months. And Linda let him grape me. And that went on for about 2-3 years till I started the whole monthly thing. And to this day, she protects him. Then she up with my first go too. But I do think Linda's probably the leader now because everybody does what she tells them to do. For an example, one time I tried to myself, and this was in 1999, and I ended up in Mountain Crest in Fort Collins, Colorado, and they released me on Thanksgiving, and I told the doctor I wasn't ready. He released me anyway. Got to the house. I stood in the door, like in the where you walk in, and then there's the open area and everything. I think that they call it a foyer, whatever the fuck you want to call it, in the entrance of the doorway. There'd be I was standing here, the living room was here, the kitchen was over there, and then the dining room was over here. And I just stood there for about 5 minutes, not saying a fucking word, just stood there, stared at the ground. And everybody was there. And I said, if you don't take me back, you're going to find me in the morning. And I said, you're going to find my body in the morning if you don't take me back now. And so Ralph took me back, and we were sitting in the office to get checked back in, to get me checked back in, and it's dead silence. And all of a sudden, Ralph says, Heather, it's not that I don't believe you, it's I want to believe Brian too. I didn't say a fucking word to him. And I got checked back in and everything, and I ended up. And I don't know why he said that, but he did. It was strange because I didn't say anything to him about it. I mean, the last time I talked to him about it or said anything that he heard about it was 1991. So I got checked back in and I finally told the therapist. She decided we were going to have a family therapy session. I told her what Brian did, including the first time when I was tied to the bed and blindfolded. So she said she decided in all her wisdom that we were going to have a family therapy session. So Sue, John, Linda, Ralph, Linda and Sue's brother and his wife, John Howard and his wife Shauna, and this was before they were married. And I think Brad was there, Sean was there, Shane, everybody was there. Joan, Jack, you name it. And I walk in, all in a big circle, right? And I walk in the room and I sit down. Therapist comes in the room and she shuts the door and says that what I told her. Linda says she's lying, it never happened, she fantasized it. The therapist said, you're right, she fantasized it, it never happened. I got up and I walked out of that room and I went to my room and just cried. And then the following summer, I was seeing another therapist, got to trust her, and I told her. And then when I was helping Joan with her shower, uh, Linda called, and I answered the phone, and she started going off on me, telling me, why am I lying? If I ever say anything to anyone again, I was going to be sued for defamation of character. And just, yeah. I ended up hanging up the phone and I was crying, and that's when Joan said, Heather, I'm so sorry I didn't believe you before, but I believe you now. She knew, clearly, because she's one of the people that hurt me. I didn't know that at the time. My whole life has been a lie. And even with all the evidence and knowing that it's all real and it did happen, my brain's still like, there has to be some sort of explanation. This can't be real. This can't be real. But it is. Oh, hell. And I've been fighting to allow myself. I've been fighting against allowing myself to fully believe it because I don't know what's going to happen when I do. Not that I'm going to have a nervous breakdown, that's not a thing for me. Um, but I'm not sure what's going to happen once I fully allow myself to believe it. It's a good thing I don't have a driver's license anymore, okay? Let's put it that way. When I went to go, it was either renew my driver's license or get an ID instead. And something told me to get the ID. It's a good idea. It's a good thing I did because I'd probably be in. I could have ended up in prison if I didn't. And I'm not a violent person. But with everything I know now, it's a good thing I can't rent a car. Let's put it that way. So, sorry about the pity party tonight. I'm sorry. Ibuprofen. Take some ibuprofen. 4. You take 800 milligrams of ibuprofen 3 times a day. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. And now, come to find out. Yeah, another thing is, Catrice Lee has, strabismus in her left eye. After a 15-minute examination, they, you gotta take some ibuprofen. Uh, I have a small, um, exphoria, which I guess is a form of strabismus. They couldn't tell if I've had eye surgery or not, but the exam should have been 2 to 2.5 hours in depth, and they didn't do that. I wonder why. Just like the doctors. Yeah. Um, but yeah, it turns out I have a form of strabismus, and with my depth perception, and my hand-eye coordination, and can't catch a ball to save my life. Never have been able to. Um, just a lot of things. I get numbers flipped backwards. I thought I had a form of dyslexia because I get numbers switched around, not turned around, but switched around. Like if it's, I can't believe I'm gonna say 8675309. I would get the 3 and the 0 mixed up if I were to call a phone number, right? If I were to call that number half the time, I would have gotten the numbers switched around, the 3 and the 0. That's what happens. That's amazing. I was able to drive all the time. No, I see them flip. No, this is no joke. I see them the other way around. Um, Writing, I'm slow at writing. It takes me forever. Reading, I have to, I'm a very intelligent person, but it takes me a bit. I'm slow. The ear problems I have, evidently that ties into strong business. Um, I have a nerve in my left side of my face that doesn't work. And if they were, and I only know because I had a 4-hour surgery on my hearing bone where they had to drill holes in my hearing bone. They said it could never be done again because the one of the nerves in my left side of my face doesn't work, and if they were just to touch it just the wrong way, it would paralyze the whole left side of my face. And not only do I have the exphoria, I also have suspected glaucoma in both my eyes. Great. How? How? But then they told me my eyes were fine. Yeah, they told me I was fine. I only know because I've started reading what the notes say after I see the doctors. Because they tell me everything's fine. That's how I find out that I have certain things. Because after they did the test and everything turned out, my blood work came back with thyroiditis and the CAT scan with that they did on my back showed diverticulitis. I go into the doctor and they say, "Oh, the results are come back fine." And I was like, "Are you sure about that?" Because I read the results and this is what it says. And they, "Oh, hold on, let me look." How do you not look? You're a fucking doctor. How do you not fucking look? Yeah. Evidently, I have 20/21 vision when I wear my glasses. They did the eye exam with me wearing my glasses, not me without my glasses. Tells me my eyes are fine, but oh yeah, we're gonna set you up with this other specialist. Yeah, so how the fuck do I have glaucoma? I don't understand it. I didn't even know I had anything wrong with my eyes. That's the thing. I've been misdiagnosed over the years with so many different things. I was misdiagnosed with gastroparesis because I was being poisoned. So I have a foreign object in my stomach still that I need to have removed, but I need to wait till I know I'm safe to have the surgery. Nothing like telling the doctor, the surgeon before a surgery that I apologize, this is about my outburst, but this is why. And the files, yeah, evidently I'm in them. And then they want you to do for 24 hours, do a liquid diet before surgery. And then 2 days before surgery, tell you that you need to have it done. They need to reschedule it to Monday. And it has to be done at the main hospital. And give you two different excuses as to why. And then after you explain about a member you have at a medical facility of some sort that you I don't even remember. All I know is in Denver, Colorado. I don't know why I was put in there, but there was a lot of testing on computers and paper work that I had to. It was just a lot of testing with flashcards and shapes, and it was weird. Um, but I told when I had calmed down, because that night, after all of it had been said and done, I was convinced they were going to try and unalive me. And when I woke up the next day, I'm like, well, maybe, because of everything, maybe I'm just a little paranoid. So I called and talked to the supervisor. And, talked calmly, and I told her what I remembered about The reason I react the way I do at certain things is because when the memory I have at this medical facility, I remember 6 men, 3 on this side, 3 on this side, holding me down, injecting something into my leg. And then I finally remembered what they did. And I was crying when I was telling her, and then after I told her, she's like, I'm so sorry what you went through, but you are no longer a patient here, da da da. Hung up on me, and then a couple hours later, I got a letter from her, but had the doctor's name at the bottom of it, saying that unfortunately they could no longer have me as a patient because of my threatening and violent behavior. Because when he told me that I needed to do liquid diet for 24 hours before surgery, I was like, why? And he said, because I didn't say this in the pre-op appointment, he said he didn't say it till after I told him about the files. And he said, oh, it's because of that if I had solid food the day before, that the anesthesiologist would cancel the surgery. Okay, well, can I have ice cream? He says, yeah, just no solid food. What happens when you go to have surgery and you don't have anything solid for 24 hours before surgery and then nothing after midnight? Just liquids. If you end up on the operating table, a lot less mess to clean up, huh? Also, if they were going to right? What's the easiest way to get you down to the morgue? Through a hospital or across the street at the day surgery center place? So, when they called me and told me 2 days before I was supposed to have surgery that they had to reschedule to the following Monday and it had to be at the main hospital, why do you think? They've been trying to take me out for a long time. So when they called me 2 days before surgery, told me it had to be that Monday, I said why. And it had to be at the main hospital. I said, why? Are you putting me completely under? Oh no, you're going to be in twilight stage. Okay, well then why does it have to be at the main hospital? Oh well, the anesthesiologist is worried that they won't be able to control your pain after surgery. The surgery is just opening me, and just going right under the skin, not even going into muscle, taking the stimulator out and sewing me back up. I wouldn't be completely sedated. It would be local anesthesia, which is normal for that type of surgery. It's nothing major. It's a very minor surgery. So when she told me that the anesthesiologist was afraid that I wouldn't be able to, or he wouldn't be able to control my pain after surgery, I was like, you need to have the doctor call me because this doesn't make sense. The doctor calls me, tells me the same bullshit story. I called the pre-op, and I told them what I was told, and she's like, let me have your information. So I gave it to her, and she seemed very confused because she's like, so and so told you that? And I said, yeah. And she said, somebody will call you back. We'll have somebody call you back. Okay. So then that's when I called and talked to the supervisor the first time. Rude ass bitch that ended up having her, glow up in high school, and that's where she mentally stayed. I told her that too. So I called and talked to her, and I said, "This is what was told to me, and this is what I just found out from pre-op." And that's what she says. Oh, well, the day surgery center isn't equipped to handle your type of surgery. I'm sorry, what? How is a day surgery center not equipped to handle just going into it? And I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, do I need to stop by the Dollar Tree and pick up a scalpel, some needle and thread? What do you need me? Are you missing the the bed that I would need to be on for the surgery? I have no idea what the fuck. What do you mean it's not equipped to handle my type of surgery? Yeah. So, so fast forward to when I called her and told her, because I also talked to the hospital and they said, oh, well, there's nothing we could do. What do you mean there's nothing you can do? This makes no sense. So, fast forward to, I think it was the day before I was supposed to have the surgery originally. And she's rude as fuck, sends me that letter, right? I called I tried calling the records office for that hospital. The number you called the call you cannot go through. Your call cannot go through. Your call cannot. They have my number blocked from calling New York Presbyterian Hospital and any office connected with Weill Cornell. With Weill Cornell. Yeah. Yeah. My number is blocked. My actual phone number is blocked from calling Weill Cornell Hospital. Any hospital, the New York Presbyterian Hospital, yeah. My number has been blocked. And then the last time I had called, I believe, was that Friday, which was February 20th. I get a letter on February 27th, dated on February 25th, stating that from one of the head people from Weill Cornell, stating I was no longer a patient of theirs because of my repeated calling and threatening the staff. So there's saying that I could no longer be a patient of the doctor because of my threatening and violent behavior when I'm home in bed, when I'm on the phone with them. And then and I hadn't called that hospital since until after I got that letter. The last time I had called was February 20th, and I never made what I threatened him with a lawsuit. I threatened to turn him into the medical board, that kind of thing. But threatening and violent behavior. Now, if I had threatening and violent behavior, wouldn't there be things in my past, like I would have some sort of record of that? Of being violent, like I would have, I don't know, a police record or something? Right? Usually people with threatening violent behavior with that kind of thing, they would have some sort of police record. But no, yeah, no, not me. Defamation of character at its best, at its finest. It's like I'm in school for criminal justice. What the fuck you mean threatening violent behavior? Furthermore, after everything I've been through, and obviously you've all seen it, what the fuck? Threatening and violent? Like, I have never been violent with anybody. I take that back. The only time I've ever been violent is when I've been backed into a corner. When I say, let me go calm down and we'll talk when I come back after I'm calmed down, and people don't want to let me. And I give them a warning many, many times. Let me go calm down. We will talk when I come back. They don't what am I? Yeah. Uh, I was dating. Well, she was my best friend in high school. Then we dated briefly, and things didn't work out. It was a long story, but I ended up dating her ex, which I asked her ahead of time, is it okay? Is it? She told me 100 times, yes, it's fine. I hope you're happy together. Whatever, right? We dated, then she got stupid. I spent the night with him, come back to the hotel or the motel that we were living at, that her mom paid for, and I'm sitting in the vehicle with her mom, and she's on my bed in the room with blinds open, looking at the fucking door with a razor blade to her wrist. And I told her mom, I was like, you stay right there? She's like, yeah. It's like, let me sit here for a minute and see what happens. I sat there talking to her mom for a good 5-10 minutes, and she sat there the whole time, you know. And I said, told her, mom, okay, I'm gonna go in and see what's going on because this is weird. She's like, yeah. So I go in, and as soon as I open the door, she starts. I go and I jump on the bed, I grab it from her, I take it, throw it in the trash can in the bathroom, and I go to walk out the door, and she follows me out. Wait, we need to talk. We need to talk. I said, no, we need to. You need to go. I need to calm down. Let me go calm down. I will come back. We'll talk. No, we need to talk. We need to talk. I said, Amy, let me go calm down. I'll be back. We'll talk when I come back. She would listen. So I ended up dislocating her jaw. I told her I don't know how many times, let me go calm down. I'll be back. We'll talk. And she would not listen. So that's what happened. That was when I was back in 2000. I'm not a violent person by any means, unless backed into a corner or you poked me my buttons. People have a tendency to like pissing me off. What Linda did anyway. Yeah, that's the thing. I'll never forget. She and I were having a bit of an argument. Nothing new, and I pointed out. We were in my bedroom, and I pointed out to the living room where her brother and his wife, his current wife, were. And I just said, now don't you see that bitch is ruining our family or something like that? And instantly, as I said that, I went like this. And she started slapping the shit out of me. It didn't hurt. It hurt my feelings, but it didn't hurt. I was crying, but it wouldn't because it fucking hurt shit. See, I had a warrant for my arrest for failure to appear for per, uh, obtaining merchandise by using bogus check. Check was in my name, no money in the account. And my ex talked me into getting open the account. I took care of all that. I'm not like the only things I've ever been to jail for or had court for or anything was traffic and obtaining merchandise using a bogus check, which I've taken care of all that. Um, but that night, because I had a warrant, we both called the cops, and guess who got arrested and guess who didn't? I got arrested for my warrant, and she didn't get arrested for assaulting me. But and then I ended up having to spend the night in jail because she would not bail me out. So yeah, my life has been very, very different from others, and oh, excuse me, I'm trying to learn to trust people. I don't trust people. I trust Frankie. That's the only person I fucking trust. But I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to trust people, you know. But it's hard when everyone that you thought you could trust fucking hurt you. And then when people are genuine, it's hard to tell. Because so many people have acted genuine and then just to hurt me in the end. Or use me or whatever, and that's what I'm used to. I didn't ask for any of this. I didn't ask. I didn't even know I'd been kidnapped till 2024. And I don't know how she knew. But I'm wondering, I think that the Heather Edgerton is the one in that red dress. I know. It's good. I'm working on it, damn it. Heather, I was live on, like I am now, only I was having a good night, dancing, so, having fun. And Heather Edgerton commented, "Oh my god, you're my long lost sister named Tanya, you were kidnapped." And the name Tanya felt very familiar, still does, and so that's where it went. And so for a good, that was October 28th. Or October, no, yep, October 28th, something like that, October 25th, October 28th. Um, and she claimed that she was my sister and everything. And so from then to the time I chalked it up to someone with no heart, no soul, and no fucking common sense, or really off her rocker, which clearly she is. She had been pretending to be, she was texting me as herself and as the supposed biological mother and as the sister named Fawn. I took screenshots of all the text messages, trust and believe. Thing she said was like, "Isn't it weird that they named me Heather and kept the name Heather for you too?" And just a lot of other, and I have all the screenshots still. I know. I know. Trust and believe, I know. It'll be okay. But so she pretended to be, it was crazy. It was bad. It was very bad. Um, so yeah, I have all the screenshots saved and everything. But I did do an AI age progression of the child in the red dress. It looks like her. I think that she was the one that they had before they had me. But I'm not sure what happened with that. Clearly. I don't even know what to think anymore with any of it, except it's driving me fucking. I just want to. I think. I need a fucking vacation, is what I need. I need a vacation somewhere nice and warm with a beach. I can tell you the perfect vacation. I know. But let me tell you the perfect vacation: a beach, the ocean, obviously, that goes hand in hand. Uh, Frankie, and the beach. Just spend time together. Not yet. Not yet. Not since last night. So I'm sure she'll get back to me again. But yes, I need to go to fucking Florida because I can't. I need to go have a little vacation at least, or a very long vacation. Very long vacation with Frankie. That'd make me the happiest woman in the universe. I'll tell you what. Just spend time with him. That's been an emotional night, more so than I thought it would be. Strange how I cried as much as I did, and I don't usually. I've talked about this a lot, and I don't usually cry like that when I talk about it. I think I'm still getting used to the fact that it's okay to cry. I'm still having some issues with that, I think. Yeah, something good is definitely coming my way. I know. I feel it. I feel it. You know. Um, but I have decided that if the DNA test, when I do it, if it comes back that I'm not Catrice, which would be, I think would shock a lot of people, including me, because all the things. Because, like, on her picture, you zoom in, it looks like she has a club thumb too. And only 2 to 3% of the population have club thumbs. And it's on her right hand. Just like the mole I have right here. She has one too. I zoomed in on her face. It looks like she has one here too. In the same spot. But yeah. This is a club thumb. When one thumb is shorter than the other thumb. And clearly in the child in the red dress, their thumb is not a club thumb. So what would be the odds of the fact that that little girl is still missing after 44 years? And I'm a missing person, don't know who the fuck I am yet, and have the same birthmark, have a birthmark in the same spot. The suspect that took her looks just like Sue and everything else. What would be the odds that I wouldn't be? But anything's fucking possible. And then having the club thumb and the mole, the mole right here, and yeah. And then finding out I have a 4-month strabismus. Yeah, my kids are 22 and 23. They're not in my life. They believe the lies that they've been told. I know. I know it doesn't. You gotta realize, for a long, long time, well, it's easier to put this way. Frankie is the first person that told me it was okay to cry. And that was in 2021. I wasn't allowed to cry or show anger or anything. Because if I did, I was told, "Oh, your medication isn't working, or you're not taking your medication," and they put me on more medication. I was prescribed 30 different prescriptions for things I didn't need, taking 100 pills a day, sleeping 23 out of 24 hours a day until 2017. That's why I'm pretty sure that it ended finally in 2017. Yeah, I have a very high tolerance for every fucking thing. I'm working on it. It's taking me some time. I'm working on it. I'm working through it. You know. Thank you. In seventh grade, when I was in seventh grade, they had us take a IQ test, right? The whole school. I guess this was the year to do it. I don't know. The whole school district or whatever. But did the IQ test, and about a week later or something like that, I was in study hall, and my guidance counselor comes in all happy and excited, sits down next to me, and he's like, "You told me I had the highest IQ in the whole school district." And I started crying. I said, "Please don't tell my family. Please don't tell my family. Please don't tell my family." And he never did. Because I had to play stupid. I had to play stupid for a very long time. Because what would have happened if I didn't? you know? I wanted to be a singer for the longest time. I still do. I wanted to have a career in singing. But I was always meant to feel like I was bad at it. I had this opportunity. Ralph told me about a talent show at CSU college there, and it was open for everyone. And I was going to do it. I was going to enter. And I told my choir teacher about it, and I was going to sing There Are Worse Things I Could Do. And I stayed after school and practiced every day with him. And when he finally said that he thought, he said I was ready, he believed I would win, I told Linda. And she said I wasn't allowed to do it because it was a waste of my time. I would lose. Just like the teen beauty pageant. I wasn't allowed to do that because it would be a waste of my time because I would lose. See, when I come on here saying I don't practice beforehand and I never have vocal training except junior high choir. So what you see is what you get. You know, I've been told by an ex that I sound like alley cats fighting in an alley. That was Steven that told me that. After everything I've been through, I'm still here. It's like my life motto song is I'm still standing. I'm still standing better than ever did. Looking like a true survivor. Feel like a little kid. I'm still standing after all this time. Picking up the pieces of my life without you on my mind. I'm still standing. But after the whole thing with Heather Anderton and me chalking up to someone with no heart, no soul, and that it kept nagging at me, and that was in the beginning of 2020. I think it was New Year's Eve. I had taken a square of a shrimp bar, and I shouldn't know. No, I think I actually took 4 of them because I have a high tolerance. I'll be fine. Fuck that shit. Never again. It was bad. It was because it kept nagging at me, and at the thing it was starting to work, and that's when my detective mind doesn't shut the fuck up when it needs to, and so I'm basically tripping, and it's completely illegal, obviously, but when you do 4 of them, that's a lot. So it kept nagging at me, so I looked up. Yeah. So I looked up children missing early 80s. First one that popped up was Tanya Michelle Williams. I looked beautiful little girl. I looked at the age progression, I'm like, holy shit. And I went live, I said, and I was freaking out. I said, tell me this isn't me. Please tell me this isn't me. Is this me? Please tell me this isn't me. I was freaking the fuck out, obviously. And someone called the Shelby County Sheriff's Department and told them about me, and they looked me up. Dispatch looked my live up, saw me, and said, "Oh my God, have her call us." They thought I was Tanya. That's how much I look like the age progression, I guess. And I look very much like her sister too, her older sister, but I'm not her. Tanya didn't have any birthmarks. Not real sure what happened, but my understanding is her grandmother may have sold her, and the sheriff at the time was corrupt. And there would be 3 people in her family that would know what happened to her: her grandmother, her father, and someone else. It's always 3 people in the family that knows what really happened. In my case, I was actually legitimately kidnapped. When these people take the children in that, they're not kidnapped, they're sold by the family. There will be family members that sell them. I was never supposed to be taken. Enough people, enough of those fucked up members have come on my lives and said it was a mistake, you were never supposed to be taken. But the thing is, Tanya was never supposed to be taken either. I guess it was supposed to be her cousin. Hello. So there's that. It's just been a nightmare, clearly. Um, so after the whole thing with Tanya Michelle Williams trying to find out if I was her or not, while I was dealing with that, someone had been commenting on a blog for her, uh, fucked up shit about me on a blog online for her. Well, I'm trying to find out if I'm her or not, right? You name it, they said it. I've been recorded, I've been live streamed, you name it, it's been done. Look up the name Heather McCord on YouTube. I'm sure over 300 videos on there now. My life's been recorded, trying to make me look like a scammer, a beggar, and everything else too. This is not a joke. And even there's one of Heather Anderton on there talking her shit and lies continuously coming out of her mouth. Um, yeah. Turns out she ended up disappearing like a fart in a windstorm too. Who knows? But it was confirmed to me by two people that I was in fact kidnapped, and it was confirmed back then. One was someone who's entwined with that cult because he was a victim until he became a certain age, and because of his mother being part of it. So after he got to a certain age, he would be taken around to the different homes where the children were kept, take them out of the cages, and take care of them. I was one of the kids, I guess, because he described the basement where the room I was kept in, and that he described it. What I remember. And then this person I've known for over 20 years, that was like a brother-in-law to me, kind of. Well, Terry, it was like a brother to Terry. Confirmed that I was abducted, but he didn't know my name because he had the file. He also said he was CIA. You know, he's part of that fucking cult. Um, he told me, he's like, oh, because I was talking about Alton Howard, Mother Hayden, and that. He's like, no way, I'm 33rd degree, and all this shit. Like, and that was before I got to the part where I told him I was kidnapped. And yeah. I was, he confirmed it, and then after being told on here by people that, hey, the things you've been talking about over the past year and a half, 2 years, yeah, it turns out those are in the files. So evidently I'm in the files somewhere because my memories are, and what the fuck. So having to deal with that too, finding out from people online that they are, and then hearing other survivors talk, it's like listening to people talk, you know, listening to what happened to me, like somebody, like hearing somebody tell my story, my life story. It's weird, and it's a lot. And so when I was told about the files, my memories, I called him and I said, he's like, hey, what's going on? I said, am I in the files? And he's like, no, I told you you're safe. You're not in the files. I said, then why is it that I'm being told the things I remember that I've talked about online, live, for the past year and a half to 2 years are in those damn files? And that's when his tone changed and said, that's why I was coming out to talk to you and talk to you about it in person. and I have some things to show you. And then said he has the files. So yeah. So I'm still pushing that to the back because I don't want to. I don't want to believe it. Epstein. What files do you think? The Epstein files. They came across a video of a little girl giving an interview to police talking about things that I've remembered and I've talked about. And then there'll be times where I'll see a video here and there, and especially when it was these girls in dresses and blindfolded and dancing. I don't know what it, something about it. Then people have posted pictures of these monsters that are in the files, and I'm going through it. It said like names and photos of people that are, something like that about people in the files. I'm going through it, and there were like two different photos of two different people. As soon as I saw them, my anxiety went through the fucking roof. One was one of the Rothschilds. I don't remember what happened to me. A lot. I don't remember over half my life shit. But what I do know is the person I've known for 20 years said what I don't remember is far worse than what I do remember. So, trying to deal with all that, you know, along with everything else. And I'm not letting myself believe it yet. I don't think I'm gonna allow myself to believe it until I do the DNA and it comes back and everything and go from there. Because I honestly don't know when I do. Like I said, I don't know what's gonna happen. If I'm going to flip out, if I'm just gonna break down, I don't know. I don't think I'll do anything to harm anyone. I know I'm not gonna do that. I might break down for about an hour or two. But then I gather myself together and I move forward. You know? God damn it. Oh, shit. Oh. Turn the damn heater off. Actually, I think what'll happen is, if the DNA test comes back that I am Catrice, it means I solved my own kidnapping. Like I said I was going to. So I kind of gotta prepare myself for all that, too. It's not every day someone solves their own kidnapping, you know. Shit. You know. It's not every day that happens. But I also choose to not let. I'm not going to let any of this destroy me. I refuse. Nobody and nothing is going to destroy me. Because I keep reminding myself they can't hurt me anymore. No matter what happens, they can't hurt me anymore. Maybe that's how I get through it. I'm very different than others, clearly. I'm very, very determined. But I have made the decision that if the DNA test comes back that I'm not Catrice, then I'm done looking. Because it's a needle in a fucking haystack at that point. I could have been taken from any country. I could be anyone. If it's not a match. So then what I do is, then I'm going to legally change my name to Grace Marie. The only reason I'm not going to do it yet is because I want to do this DNA test first. Because, if it is a match, then I want to get my identity fixed and use my actual name. Yes, it would be Grace Marie Everly. That's what I'll change my name to legally. It's been a lot. Of all the fucked up shit I've been through and witnessed and have dealt with and everything up until this point. I have to say I'm doing pretty well. I'm handling it fairly well. Better than expected anyway. You know what I mean? So I just take everything, go with the flow of things for now and until it's time to deal with what I gotta deal with. But in the meantime, I'm gonna keep moving forward and I'm gonna try and start enjoying life, I am going to move, and everything, so. And who knows, maybe I'll start traveling a bit too. Well, obviously, I'm going to be traveling. That's not maybe. There's no maybe about it. When I do go over there to do the test, I'm only going to stay in London for a couple days, and then I'm going to go to Ireland. I don't know why I'm drawn to Ireland, but I've always been drawn to Ireland. I have no idea why. But maybe I'll find out once I'm there. I have no idea why I'm so drawn to Ireland. Well, hopefully I'll figure it out or find out. You know? But, it is 12:22. I've been seeing a lot of twos lately. I know it means something. Repeating angel numbers and all. Hey, I just don't know what it means exactly. I hope this test, the DNA test comes back. I hope it is a match for Catrice. Because that way the family knows that, hey, and they're not having to search anymore. And that way I know who I really am. But if it's not, then it's not, and whatever happens, happens. But at least if it comes back a match too, then justice will be served. And even though Sue is in hiding and faked her fucking death, she'll be found. Because I'm sure one of her sisters will rat her out. The worst case scenario is DNA isn't a match. And I just move forward with my life. That's the worst case scenario. Well, the worst case scenario would be the DNA doesn't match, they get off and never pay for what they did. And, I just change my name and never know who I really am and or who my family really is. And, you know, that's the worst case scenario. Say anything about romance? I know. Trust me, I didn't know. I didn't ever thought that I would end up where I am right now. I never thought I'd be where I am right now. Hey, God's honest truth. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. If I had not met Frankie, if he hadn't been come into my life and that, I wouldn't be where I am. I would still be in that fucked up house, in that fucked up situation. God only knows, what I would be dealing with. He's kept me going. He is the reason. He's the reason I found my voice and the courage to leave. Hell, he's the reason I started singing. On here. Shit. Ugh, fuck. I know. Hell, I'm the most patient person I think in the world. I'm one of the most patient people there are. But if it hadn't been for Frankie, I wouldn't be where I am today. I would have given up a long time ago. See, in 2023, when I ended up homeless in my car, I was lost. I didn't know what to do, and so I did try to, you know, and somehow I was found and ended up in the hospital, and ironically, somebody paid for me to be taken care of. And we got a rose for Valentine's Day. Thank you, I appreciate that. And after I got released from the hospital, I had watched something, and it was, it was about a week after Valentine's Day, something like that. I watched this post for Valentine's Day, and he was sitting in his Calvin Klein's. He was sitting in his Calvin Klein's at his parents' house in his closet. I had the camera away from him, and he's saying, "How do I live without you?" And it was in black. He had it in black and white, and he was saying, "How do I live without you?" And I just zoomed in on it. Something told me to zoom in, and I did. The man was crying, and so something told me. So I made a promise. Damn it! I made a promise to him that I would never do that again. And I haven't, and I won't. Because he's the one person I would never hurt in any way. And I know it would hurt him if something happened to me. Just a hunch, you know? So, I improved my life and I kept going and he kept me going. And I don't think I don't know if he knows how much he's kept me going. And how many times he's saved my life. I don't think he knows. Maybe he does. But I love that man with every ounce of my being. And I always have. This stupid thing. Verifier's still there. Fucker. But, I've been in love with that man since the first time I ever laid eyes on him. Didn't even know his name. Didn't know what the fuck he did for a living. Nothing. First time I ever laid eyes on him, saw his heart and his soul. Big heart of gold, most beautiful soul of anyone I've ever come across. He was wearing a long sleeve tannish brownish shirt. And he had his glasses on the front of him, and he was wearing his hat backwards. It was a black hat with some writing on it. It was in white room. The first time I ever saw it was a week after. No, it was a couple days after I downloaded TikTok. In 2021 is when one of his videos came across my For You page. And ironically, it wasn't on his account, it was on a scammer account. And that's how The first time I ever heard of him. But I didn't know his name, nothing. I was in love with him. Any attraction I had to anybody went out the fucking window. Uh, so, hang on, I'll be right back. Oh, shit. Oh. So, I need this. Hold on. Figured water would be better. But, so it was first time I ever saw him. It was one of his videos, but it was on his scammer account, so I had no idea. He was sitting there, and he smiled, beautiful smile, even though it was fake. I could tell when he really smiles and when he doesn't. Frankie, I got Frankie, and then he sang, "What do you build me up, buttercup baby, just to let me down?" I can't sing this shoes and stuff, but yeah, I'm like, oh my god, who is this guy? This is what he needs to be doing with his life. He was born to sing. No fucking idea. But after a couple days, I finally figured out who he was, and I went and that's when I joined his journey or whatever. First time we had a Zoom was in 2020, well, like June that year? June or July of 2021. And, it was like June or July of 2021. And he had a Zoom contest. I got one ticket, and I was one of the picked. Yes, we had a Zoom. The very first Zoom we ever had was 2021. I think it was in June of 2021. And it was the first time I'd ever done a Zoom either. With any, like, I was learning technology as I went along and still am. And so I get on there, and then, yeah, I was one of the, he said he was going to pick 12, but he picked 13. I was number 8. I was all excited when I found out I was picked. I was actually driving. I had his live going, and then, or whatever, and then I was driving at the same time, and I, yeah. But and then when we had the Zoom, yeah, I got on there, and he was all smiling ear to ear, and I don't have I don't have the Zoom video. That was a half-hour conversation he and I had. Or are you talking about the other video? Pamela, are you talking about the video of 2022 that I got as a gift? That video? So this is the first night we met in person. Um, we did the meet and greet before the event, and then the event, and then he performed. He sang. His uncle sought me out in the crowd, and then here comes Sorry. I'll show you. Go teach. That's his uncle. So that was me. Clearly, that was me holding the camera. And there's that picture. is this? I don't know. I didn't ask for these videos. He was starstruck. He was starstruck? What do you mean he was starstruck? I'm a nobody, you know? That's me, I don't know, you know? I thought he was being nice. I have no idea. See, there is never a perfect time, clearly, because, you know... No. He's not. I'm an idiot. Now I'm saying I'm an idiot because I thought he was just being nice. No, he doesn't have kids. Well, he has a baby. Her name's Presley. Let me show you Presley. This is Presley. This is Presley. That's his baby. Yes, this is his baby. I did this picture as a diamond painting for him. And I did, where is it? And I did this picture as a diamond painting for him. And I took it and I put it in one of the bags I took up to the studio for him. Yes, you can take any picture, order it, in a diamond painting, and it's delivered. I used to do them and sell them. But yeah, I did that for him, and he texted me that night. we didn't go anywhere. I thought he was being nice. I didn't know he was flirting with me. Shit. I kept hearing Linda's voice saying, why would you embarrass yourself like that? Look at him, look at you. He could get with whoever he wants. He would never be with something like you. So I didn't tell him. I told him in 2023, April 2023, when he made me. He made me tell him. Because I went in and I did when I went into the room when we had the meet and greet in 2023 at the Cheer Choice Awards, when he was performing. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that was not nice that she did. So, like poisoning me and drugging me, and that's not nice either. But what she said was minute to what she did before. What else? The other shit she did. But so I go in the meet and greet, right? And it's him and his best friend. And I walk in, he's like, "Oh my god, you look so good. How do you look so good for living in your car? I didn't look that good when I lived in my car." I said, I just clean up well. So, and then it was, this is in, this was then. And so we had the meet and greet and everything. And after, I went out and I was talking to the others, and, they one by one wanted and having their time with him. He kept nagging at me. Kept nagging at me. You need to tell him. You need to tell him. You need to tell him. And I finally just like, I'll be right back. I forgot to tell Frankie something. I go over and like, yeah, is it okay? I was like, hey, is it okay if I come in? I forgot to tell Frankie something. He's like, yeah, come in, come in. All excited that I forgot to tell him something, I guess. That was for his birthday in 2025, 2024. My daughters, they're not in my life. They believe the lies have been told. Um, my oldest daughter I know is mad because he can twerk better than she can. She did say that quite a bit. So I don't know. You know, my youngest daughter I haven't seen since she was 3. So I don't know. But I went in there and I was like, never mind. He's like, no, tell me. Grabs my hand. No, tell me. Like, uh, finally I told him. Yeah, he made me tell him. He wasn't gonna let me go until I told him. And when I told him I was in love with him and everything, and he's like, "Oh, but I want you to fall in love with somebody else because I want you to be happy." But I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I was so confused. But it's like, yeah. And then I went on and I told him about the recurring dream I had, and I still have occasionally, about us getting married. And and then I went on and I said, "Is your grandmother's birthday in March or?" And he said May, because in the dream it's our wedding day and it's on his grandmother's birthday, and I knew it was March or May. And he's talking to somebody, and the person asked him, "Nope, it's not May 26th." It's his lucky number too. So, but they asked him why we choose that way. We chose that day to get married, and he said because he was so close. Him and his grandma were close, and because she was no longer here, we wanted to incorporate her memory into our wedding. We wanted her to kind of like be there. It's hard to explain. Um, but yeah, incorporate her memory into the wedding to like to pay tribute. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to explain, but that's what it was about. And so I told him all that, and I told him that be prepared. It was just the beginning for him with his career. Big things were going to be happening. And that's when he said, "What do you think? You're psychic or something?" I said, "Oh, honey, I've had this since I was a kid." And then it was after that, he did, you know, I think it was after that he ended up doing like Miss America. No, it might have been Miss America before that, but it was a lot of stuff he's done since then. That yeah, and now look at him. Big things are happening for him, and it's like this is just the. And I'm telling you, this is just the beginning for him. I feel it. I feel it. Chrissy Green Eyes. Why what would make you think it was May 26th? Why are my daughters not in my life? I've answered this many a times, but I guess I'm going to talk about it again. No, it's May 20th, 520. Um, so the reason that my daughters are not in my life is because after my ex-husband, my first husband, left me, he and his friends and others had been calling CPS, and they kept coming to my home and checking my home, checking my daughters, and never took my daughters. They kept saying everything was fine. Well, when he finally realized that that wasn't going to work and that they were not going to remove my daughters, he got two people who I thought were mutual friends to trick me in a way. One came over and told me that she had overheard him talking to his girlfriend, saying that he was going to break into my home and unalive me in front of my children, and then take my children to California. And so I'm trying to figure out what I was going to do. I needed to keep my kids safe, and that I needed to make sure he wasn't going to do anything. And a couple days after that, I ran into the other, or so I thought I ran into the other one. It was set up. Her name was Betty. Oh my god, Heather, how have you been? It's been so long. And then I told her, she's like, oh my god, let me take the kids, they'll be safe. Johnny won't know where they are. So she took the kids on a Friday. I spoke to my children Friday night, Saturday. She got $100, clean clothes, toys. Um, I always packed much more than my kids ever needed. I was one of those moms. Make sure my kids had everything they needed and then some. Um, so that Sunday, she calls me on Terry's phone and says that she needs me to sign power of attorney papers to my children in case she needed to take them to the doctor. I was going the next day to get a restraining order. I hung up the phone. I told Terry. Terry said, call her back now, get the kids back now. I called. And I called. And for 2 fucking hours at least. She finally answers, says, they took the kids. Who the fuck took my kids? CPS and police. I bet it was John and Lynn that called. Terry was listening. I'm not Tanya. Can one of my ones take care of that person, please? Because I'm getting some vibes from that person. I have been for quite some time. Who are you? I don't know who you are. Like, so now this is what that's. Yeah. It's starting again. Yeah, I know. It's be prepared. It's starting. All the shit that happened before, it's now about to start. Remember, I had to go through the thing and find out if I was changed Michelle Williams. Now they're saying Tanya. What the fuck? Who the fuck is Tanya Lee? Like I. Not that I'm already dealing with all the shit that I'm like. Now you know what I mean. So be prepared because I can like every time it starts, every time the shit starts again, it's always worse than the time before. This has been going on for since 2023. So yeah, um, it's okay, you're back, but it keeps getting worse than it was before. Oh, I know, but because of the last two times, I don't know how bad it's gonna get. So from now on, if anything, like just block them. Don't wait for me to say anything. I give two people too many chances, and then I end up fucking regretting it later on. You know. Chances are that was Heather Enderton, though. It's like a rerun that never stops. Yes, Marcus is amazing. All my mods are amazing. The ones I have now. And I appreciate each and every one of them. It's just been a fucking. It's been crazy. I don't know why these motherfuckers won't give up. Like, at this point, it's a fucking rerun, you know? Oh, it is the thing, isn't it? Oh, yeah, it is. Ooh, that was bright. Blinded by the light. Night. Have a great night. Hello. How are you? Now I'm starting to, hang on. So user 992, what, you have 316 followers and you're following 9 people. That's interesting. And you're not, and you have been in here before as far as I know, and you're not following me, so who are you? I can't do it in here, I'll have to go in my room. Or in the kitchen. We'll go in the kitchen, fuck it. Oh shit, no we won't because his phone's gonna die. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble by saying it because her bedroom is right there. Yeah, I know. Sandra. That's Sandra. User 9921711109383 is Sandra. Remember my old mod? That's who that is. Yes. Yes. And I'm the Queen of England. Take care of it, please. Just take care of it. I don't want to. I don't even want to deal with it. And I'm the Queen of England. Oh, wait. Wait a minute. You're 60. When's your birthday? November 3rd? She'd be 62, by the way, not 61. No, she was 61 then. I don't know who that would have been. I know. Yeah. I don't know who you are. I don't care how you are. But I don't believe you. Far from it. Yes. Just block her. It's either Sandra or Linda or somebody. I don't fucking know. What I do know is just a feeling I had. And something told me it was Sandra. Yeah. But I am going to have to end this. It's 1 o'clock in the morning and I need to go to sleep. It's been a very emotional evening, to say the least. And so I'm going to try and get some sleep. And I'll probably come on tomorrow at some point. Maybe. I don't know. See. But right now I need to decompress. And hopefully everybody knows, I'm sure everybody knows what that means when I say decompress. Right? Maybe eat a brownie. Thanks. I'm gonna have a brownie. That'll knock me the fuck out. I could eat two and then just have a hangover in the morning, which I'll probably do. So, I hope y'all have a great night. Thank you for hanging out. And, yes, I made some special brownies a while back. So, yes, probably two. And then I'll feel like I'll have a hangover in the morning. It'll knock me the fuck out. So, yeah. Anywho, I hope y'all have a great night. Great day, whatever time it is where you're at. And until next time. Well, you'll get very elevated. It's those scattered brownies. Anyways, hope y'all have a great night, great day, whatever time it is your time. And till next time, I'll see y'all later. Have a good night, guys.